Just because it's storming all day doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking about tiny boats. Now, I made a video comparing and contrasting all of the different popular and readily available on the market, not discontinued and outdated models, but the pontoon boats. We compared all of them. We really figured out what is the best value, who has the best features, the best specs, all that sorts of stuff. And today we're going to do the exact same thing with 12-foot plastic John boats. Now, I'm not going to cover anything that's discontinued. We're talking about all the boats that you could walk out of your door right now and go buy. Now, they are pretty similar. We're going to talk about that, but some of them do have some minute differences, and they all seem to have a pretty big variety of price differences. And that's really why I wanted to make this video, so you guys know, well, I'm paying more. This is what I have down the street for me. Is it really worth the extra, in some cases, $400 for maybe the same product? That's what we're going to cover today. All these boats I will link in the description, and with these links, what you can do is you can either order them and have them shipped straight to your door, or you can order them to your local store. That way you don't have to go travel super far away. So I will provide the links so you can check all this stuff out. All right, let's talk about the similarities, what all of these boats are going to have in common, because I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we've got 5 different boat models we're going to talk about, and I'm going to mention the thing that they all have in common, and that's going to be 4 rod holders, about 8 cup holders, a 6 horsepower transom rating, and a 40-pound thrust trolling motor bow mount rating. You always hear me talk about those are the Coast Guard safety regulations. I've seen people put 10s on these John boats. I've seen people go higher with transom support. And of course, most people use higher than a 40-pound thrust trolling motor on the bow. I don't have a 40-pound. I have a 46, which is still pretty weak, but a lot of people throw 55s on there and it's perfectly fine. And you can even reinforce them with some aluminum or whatever you want to do. But that is all of the similarities that they have together. All right, let's talk about the boats. Starting with the Bass Pro 12-foot John boat. The white camo with the black hull, and this one is being retailed at Bass Pro and Cabela's for $699, about $700, which is the lower rung of the price in today's list. So basically, this is a carbon copy of my Dolphin American 12. The only difference is cosmetics. Now, the weight of this boat is going to be 110 pounds, which is heavier than your average kayak. The max weight capacity is going to be at 532 pounds. The horsepower rating is going to be at 6. They do not list the trolling motor rating, but I know for a fact that it's a 40-pound thrust on the bow mount. The beam is going to be 52 inches across. It's also constructed of rugged, UV stabilized, Fortiflex high-density polyethylene with built-in closed-cell foam flotation. Now, this is going to go for all of the models. The construction is, besides the Pelican Intruder, they've got their own proprietary Ram X material. So as you can see, pretty simple. And in fact, the Bass Pro 12-foot John boat is the same price, the same shape, the same specs, everything besides cosmetically as my Dolphin American 12 I got from Tractor Supply. All right, that leads us into boat number 2. The Quest Sportsman 12-foot John boat coming in at $780, so at an $80 price increase. The length, of course, is 12 foot. The beam is the exact same. The deck height is also the same. I didn't mention this, but that's 1 foot and 9 inches. This boat also weighs 110 pounds. The max capacity is 532 pounds. Same 6 horsepower rating and the same 40-pound thrust with a trolling motor on the bow. Now, listen, same boat, different color scheme, and more expensive. If this is the only option you have near you, even if you order it and ship it, hey, only an $80 price. But that's going to lead us into the next boat that is different. Different shape, different style, different material, and a very different price point. That is the Pelican Intruder 12-foot. Now, this is going to come in at $1,100, $1,108 before tax and shipping, to be exact. Now, this is a totally different shape. It doesn't have that kind of, they're all flat bottoms, but it doesn't come up into the V, into the point, like every other John boat, the plastic John boat on the market. And now, I don't know for a fact, but I would imagine that the V helps you cut through chop a little bit better. I've had a flat bottom boat that didn't have the V. It was the 10-foot Westbury water tender, and it was a lot more slappy, a lot messier. But with the V, I can really cut through the chop and the waves a little bit better. I could be wrong, but that is one downside in my personal opinion for someone who takes their John boat on the ocean. So it may or may not be as smooth on the water. Now, keep in mind, this is a $1,100 boat. So that is $400 more than what my boat sells for at its max price. I got mine on sale, but $400 more. So keep that in mind. The weight is going to be increased at 130 pounds. So this boat is not only going to cost more, it might not move through the water as efficiently, it's also going to be 20 pounds heavier. They list their weight capacity at only 420 pounds at the max. It's hard to imagine, folks, but I mean, that is the max that they advertise. I can't imagine it, but hey, if they're saying it, they're probably not going to undersell themselves on purpose. 420 pounds. Imagine that. So 420 is really, really pushing it. You do one small outboard, a trolling motor, and a big boy, and you're already at it, let alone having a guest. Okay, so this model does come with a bow bench. I do like how big this bench is versus the kind of round curved table with the cup holders that we get on the other models. So if you did want to take a third person, that is great, but your weight capacity is 90 pounds less. So you're going to have a harder time taking 2 people, let alone 3. But that could make life way easier if you were wanting to deck it, since it's less round. It's more of a like a tapered rectangle shape, which I do like. It looks great. I really do like how it looks. It does have a 6 horsepower rating, and it also advertises a 48-inch beam versus a 52-inch beam. So it's going to be 4 inches narrower, yet it's still heavier. But what's important about the shorter beam is that it will make less room and less stable, because the wider your boat is, of course, naturally, the more stable it's going to be in the water. So you take 4 inches off, you've got 4 inches less stability. Is it noticeable? I don't know. You tell me, but I can imagine that it is, because I have had flat bottom boats similar size that did have a shorter beam, and it was a way more rocky. It makes a difference when you're talking about how small these boats are. I mean, even 4 inches off the sides, it can make a difference. However, the first reason I do appreciate the Pelican Intruder is it comes with carrying handles on the bow and stern. Now, is that a $400 upgrade? Probably not. I don't need carrying handles on my current John boat, but it is nice that they at least come with them. But here is why I do think that this can be a superior boat, and why I think that the higher price point can be justified, because the Pelicans, I've heard different things about people saying that their quality has gone down. Some people praise their quality. To me, they look like really good boats. They look like high quality boats, and I'm talking about the pontoons. But here's what they say that their John boat is made out of, and why I do think the $400 price increase might be justified. They say it is constructed with Ram X, a multi-layer material exclusive to Pelican. It is known for its high impact resistance, as well as its ability to regain its initial shape. Now, I've seen the Pelicans. They look freaking beefy, dude. They look a little bit more stiff versus my Dolphin American 12, which we will talk about here in a second. But I don't know, $1,100 for less weight, less room, more narrow beam. I don't know. Is that worth it to you to have such a rugged material? My boat seems to be performing fine, because keep in mind, all these John boats are made out of high quality, tough plastic. But hey, if you're going over rock shoals and all sorts of stuff, and you're just going to be dragging it and carrying it down banks of gravel and debris and all that stuff, hey, maybe that is worth it for you. All right, next, let's talk about my least favorite option. That is the West Marine 12-foot dinghy, coming in at $800. Listen, this has the least information by far, but it is the exact same boat as the Quest Sportsman, as the Bass Pro Pond Prowler, as well as the Dolphin American 12. It is the same boat, and we're not going to reiterate the specs, because I'm about to talk about the Dolphin American 12, and everything I'm about to say about the Dolphin American 12 is the exact same as the West Marine. However, I will mention they have almost no information about the specs on their website, and it is in the trademark white and blue color. So if you want a blue hull, white interior John boat, which I personally think is pretty ugly, for $800, $100 more than the rest of the competition, go for it, but not for me. All right, baby, the best boat on planet Earth. My boat. Not really. They're the same. They just go on sale. It seems like the Dolphin American 12, sold at Tractor Supply, goes on sale all the time. So it retails for $600, $599, the same as the Bass Pro. However, I picked mine up for only $600. So instead of $699, I got it for $599. But the next week, they went on sale for $549. So for $550, all the way up to $6 and sometimes $7 if you get unlucky. It's the cheapest on the market. It's the same as everything else, and they seem to always be in stock. It seems like everybody has a Tractor Supply. And they just came out with a new dark green and camo color, very similar to the Pond Prowler. So if you do like that design, but you want a cheaper deal, $550 instead of $700 if you wait for a good sale, then you might as well get the Sun Dolphin American 12 in their new white camo dark green colorway, which I think is pretty cool. And in fact, I went to go buy that one, but they had the inventory switched. They had one left, and it was in fact the tan one, so I just bought the tan one. Anyway, let's go into the detail. Made of rugged, UV stabilized, Fortiflex high density polyethylene deck and a hull, same as the rest, besides the Pelican Intruder. 110 pounds, 52-inch beam, 6 horsepower rating. It weighs 110 pounds, 40-pound thrust on the bow. Yada, yada, yada. The same deal. The same max capacity at 532. So listen, the Sun Dolphin American 12, the West Marine, the Quest Sportsman, and the Bass Pro are all the freaking same. The only difference is their name, their colorway. That's it. They are all the exact same. The only boat different on this list is that Pelican Intruder, and that is a different ballgame. But you're paying more for potentially more drawbacks. Who knew all these boats are identical? People are always talking about in the Facebook groups what is superior, what is not, and in reality, they're all the same. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Hit that like and subscribe button. I love talking about tiny boats, and stay tuned. We have a lot of epic fishing adventures coming up with both tiny boats soon. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.